Welcome back to My Milk, everyone. I hope you guys are doing well. I know it's probably already shocking to see upload 1 week after the first ever upload. And I know that's kind of shocking for me. I don't normally have a consistent schedule, but I'm trying to have one. So I want to start off by saying thank you guys so much for all the support. You guys have been great with it. I've been very appreciative. I can't believe all the comments, the nice words, the compliments, the support I have gotten through this journey of starting the page, and also getting more comfortable with talking to people about advice and getting set up for future episodes. It's been great. However, with that, there's already a big controversy. And I guess I kind of left it out in the first episode, so it's on me to make this very clear that yes, I understand the name, and I know I let some people down. I do drink milk, and I promise you I will continue to drink milk. I think there was a major disappointment that in the first episode I didn't take a sip of milk. Maybe it was a lapse of judgment, but that was also 4 or 5 months ago, so I think I was just probably pretty nervous. I don't even remember what was going through my brain at that moment. But now we're in present day. We're on episode 2, and I feel a lot more confident, and I feel more invigorated to do more of these prompts, questions, maybe even do Q&As. But I have some things I actually am going to change. That was just a joke. There was no controversies. I think everyone was very positive. I honestly think I'm okay with more critiques. I think everyone was kind of more gentle with me because it was my first episode. But mind you, I've been streaming for such a long time that I understood that first episode was kind of a tough watch. At times, I felt very anxious, and I was losing my train of thought, and I was kind of just like rambling at points. So be gentle, because yeah, I am a human, but also be able to give some criticism. You know, it's okay. I could take it. Tell me that the music sucked. Tell me that this happened, or tell me that you didn't like this part because you didn't agree with the message. And I would love to hear that, because I want to hear that stuff. This is built to be something where not only you learn some things and hopefully pick some things from what I say, but I learn. I learned how to be a better advice giver. I learned to be a better content creator, and I learned to be a better public speaker, I guess. Deep down, there is future goals with this, but this is the goal. The goal is just to get better at exactly this, giving good advice, unsolicited good advice, without it coming off as me being preachy or me being like a know-it-all. Like, again, this isn't professional advice. I'm going to probably say this every single episode. So if you want to skip like, I don't know, like a minute from now, I'll put a timestamp. I'm just going to run it down. This isn't professional advice. I'm not a life coach. I'm not a therapist. I'm not anyone that's going to actually have the best advice in the world. But I am a person that has lived a lot of things and experienced a lot of things. So I feel like I have some experience with some categories of stuff, and I think general knowledge can help me push a good level of advice forward. So for today, I think I have a great example of that. But I want to make something very clear. I did say that I was going to cut these down to 1 prompt per video. I'm already breaking that rule. It's not even episode 2, and I already have decided that if I can, I'm going to make it a 1 prompt video. But when there's prompts that kind of work with each other, I'm going to try and work them together. So for example, today we have 2 very interesting prompts. I actually love how both of these are worded, and I'm going to actually read them out in their full. Last episode, I kind of just like kept it basic, like moving without a car and depressive naps. Those are 2 very vague parts of the prompt. But these people, these anonymous advice askers. What do you guys want to be called? You guys want to be called askers? We'll have to figure that out. Let me know in the comment what you guys actually want to be called. These prompt requests were written out very, very well. So I want to actually take my time and dive into them a little bit. So the first one goes, hey, I'm a younger teen, 14, planning on starting work soon. Pretty sure my state allows minors of either 14 to 15 beyond to get a work permit. What should I do? What should I try to do? Not to do? What places should I be looking to try and hire me? And what do I avoid? I love that one. Like right off the bat, I love that prompt because it really does show a specific situation that they really do just need advice in. And I think this is actually a very niche conversation. I think a lot of people, when they're job finding at 16, 17, 18, when they get out of high school or when they're in high school, 14, 13, 12, that's a young age. So that's a good question because I don't think there's a lot of resources to explain what to do at such a young age because it was like a long time ago. That wasn't a thing. Now it seems like that's becoming more and more of a thing, but I want to get into that in a little bit. I want to read the other topic because I think this one also really does cut into what we will be talking about today, which is job hunting at a young age. The prompt goes, I find myself dreading school and think I won't make it through college. What are some helpful tips to get a job without all the recs? And I'm pretty sure that means like requisites, like a diploma and stuff like that. So I want to start off with that first prompt because I think that first prompt kind of leads into the second prompt. I would imagine if you're a younger teen wanting to work now, you prefer the work life more than education. But I could be totally wrong on that. Maybe this is just you wanting to get a summer job. Maybe this is just you wanting to get some money. Whatever it is, I totally support the idea that if you feel driven in a passion and you want to start working early, I get that. I'm not going to tell you not to. I actually am. I know that sounds very hypocritical because I actually started at a pretty young age working, but I don't think you need to. At least in what you're asking about getting a work permit, about getting this, about getting that. Most times when you are this young, when you are 14, 13, turning 15, there's not a lot of stuff that you need to have a full job for. And I know that sounds crazy, but it's like, I think when people want to start getting jobs is because they have a lot more responsibilities in life. So when I got my first job because I wanted to save up to get a car and save up to do stuff. I was lucky enough where I ended up getting a car in a situation where I didn't have to actually, put a crazy amount of money into it because it was a hand-me-down from family members. But the thing is, there's a lot of responsibilities that come with getting a license, getting your ability to drive, doing all this stuff. You have to pay for gas, you have to pay for the car if the car breaks down. So that's when you start to really feel the need to get a job. And I'm not telling you don't need to get a job now. Don't take it that way. What I mean by this is there's so many better opportunities to get and earn money without having to get a work permit. And work permits are interesting because it's like you have to apply for a job and the job has to accept the fact that you are too young to work. They have to fill out a form. You bring it to your school. Your supervisor of your school signs off on the permit to tell you that it's okay. That's how most states work. I'm pretty sure that's like how it worked for me growing up. I didn't get a work permit. I worked at a mom and pop pizza place. So that was my first job, was working at a pizza place at like 14, 15 years old. So I was in your boat at one time And let me tell you, I think I rushed it. Looking back, I did miss out on like 1 to 2 more years of not having to need a real job, and instead kind of pushed myself into early adulthood a little too quickly. But everyone has their own pace. If you feel like you're a lot more mature and you feel like you have more chances to take on responsibilities and you feel more comfortable with the idea of working a part-time job, getting an actual income going, and the responsibilities that come with working a part-time job, then yeah, I get it. I was there at that point too. But I'm gonna just nudge you in the position of do more communal jobs, communal work. For example, a lot of landscaping companies that are like family owned will hire people for like part-time positions. It's not like a full-time job. You're not actually like on the books. And I think that's going to be an expression that you're going to hear a lot when you're young looking for a job, is being on the books. I think a lot of people are kind of hesitant to hire a kid because that paperwork sucks. Because it's like the work permit sucks. I don't know if it's a different... I don't understand the tax filing for a kid. I don't know how you file a kid for taxes. Maybe it is just the same as a grown adult, but it just doesn't seem right. So there's a lot of stuff that is kind of like the unknown, and I haven't really seen many jobs that will hire a 14, 15-year-old. Grocery stores, like restaurants, I can't think of it. Like an amusement park would, like the your local like amusement parks or whatever. They probably would hire like teens to young adults, but I don't really know much else. I think most other jobs are looking for more mature or more experienced workers. But jobs like going to your neighbors and offering to wash their cars, or going over and offering to mow their lawn, things like that, those don't have like a set requirement of needing a permit, needing this. And most of the time when you offer that, a lot of those neighbors understand you're a young kid just trying to make some money, trying to have a hustle. They're going to support it. They're going to support the business. And it's like, I know it's like generic to say, but it's like a lemonade stand works great. However, I do know most of the time now you need a license for a lemonade stand, which I find to be ridiculous. But I'm pretty sure you can get a license when you're like a kid. I'm pretty sure like lemonade stand licenses are like one of the easiest ones to get. I could be totally wrong. I'm going to probably fact check myself here. And if I am wrong, editor, put a clown face on me. But to get to my point is, you are so young that to start to work now, you push away 2 more years of your childhood that you should 100% capture. You shouldn't be rushing into the workforce because it's the rest of your life. And I'm not joking. The rest of your life you're going to be working. It's just how it is. Unless you're able to hit the jackpot and retire early. Most people retire in their 60s and 70s. So if you're starting at 14, 15, you're going to be going for another 50 to 60 years. I don't know about you, man. If I can have my 2 years back, I would take them back in a heartbeat. There would not be a second of a doubt that I'd want to be back running around, hang out with friends in the summertime, and then doing menial little jobs if I needed money for like a video game or something. Oh man, I don't know how much I am going to do storytelling, because maybe it does help relate, but I also kind of want to keep this more to just like straight advice. But I do have like a good story of this. I had a neighbor, and this neighbor was a little bit older. He was in some sort of elderly care program, I'm pretty sure. But it was my next door neighbor. Very nice guy. Very not talkative. We didn't really see him much. But whenever he come outside, I would always say hi to him. He would always say hi to me. One winter, I decided to go over and ask him, hey, do you want me to shovel anything for you? That started a chain of, for the next 3 to 4 years of my early childhood, going over to his place and shoveling his porch, shoveling his driveway, shoveling his walkways. And every single time he was very, very generous. Every single time he was very helpful. He gave me whatever he thought I was deserving of. And he knew that I was a young kid trying my best. So he was very, very thankful every single time. And I was grateful because it was an easy job. It was something that you could do in a day. And you could earn the money that you probably need. I'm not going to say I know your situation. Obviously, if you want to earn money at whatever pace you want to earn money at. If you want a job, get a job. But if you're just needing like $50, $20, $30, do those menial tasks. Do the tasks that your neighborhood doesn't want to do. Washing cars, raking leaves. Hey, I mean, mowing the lawn, as much as it sounds like a joke, there's a reason why parents make the kids at some point mow the lawn. Because they don't want to do it. They did it for so damn long. They're trying to put responsibility into your hands. And you know how proud your parents will be if you told them that you're going to door to help out your neighbors. Puts a good image on you. It puts a good image on your family. And also it puts just a big smile on the whole neighborhood. And again, this advice isn't for everyone. Everyone has their own story. Everyone has their own neighborhood. Maybe you guys aren't as social as you should be. Or maybe you can't even be social with your neighbors because you guys don't know they're your neighbors. And that's fine. You could do other stuff. I think what's also very nice about your situation is you're so young that I think you could go into most restaurants, most small mom and pop shops and ask them, hey, do you just need a dishwasher for a day? And they're most likely going to say yes. You know why? Because they see a kid who wants to do their best and they're going to give the kid the opportunity. And if they say no, that's their problem. You did what you should do. I don't think getting a part-time job while you're so young, still trying to get your education going, still trying to hang out with friends or do whatever you want to do as kids do these days. I don't know, play Roblox, I guess. You shouldn't stunt that by trying to get into the workforce early. I know this is probably like kind of tough advice to hear because it's kind of almost anti-advice. Like I'm telling you not to do what you wanted to do, but sometimes that's the truth. Sometimes it hurts to hear the truth, but the truth is what we need sometimes. And I think living in this world for as long as I have, one thing I miss more than anything is being a jobless kid, running around doing whatever I wanted to do. That was amazing. That was it. So I don't want you to feel that you have to stunt yourself and kind of lean away from that. But you are still a kid. 14, 15, I don't consider that old enough to be really wanting a full-time job. But again, if you want that responsibility, you want that responsibility. I'm going to go really quickly into this next point because I think I covered a lot of the first prompt. And the second prompt, I have my withholdings towards it because it's very personal towards me. I have very much a similar pattern, but my experience is a little bit limited in any other aspect of this lifestyle because I only did one method, and that was going to a technical school. I think going to a trade school, a technical school, or any sort of school that deliberately kind of pushes you in a path of being away from going to college is a good answer for someone who doesn't want to go to college. But it's not it's not the only answer. There's plenty of other routes you could go. I think for a good example of this is, it's kind of tough to explain, but like, there's always someone in a big company that you find out didn't go to college. And it's always someone that you didn't expect. And it's not because you expect everyone to go to college. It's the way that they hold themselves and they present themselves shows a level of experience and maturity that comes with graduating from college. I'm lucky enough to be in the position that I am with my work, but I've also had to put in so much effort and so much more experience than most other people right out of college, because they do their effort and experience in the books, in the school, in the classroom, and learning and doing internships and stuff. I just had to kind of go out into the workforce, and that was scary. I was young, and I think if I did it again, I would probably wait a little bit longer to start up. But my experience is now what I hold to a high value, is what I immediately put on my resume, is all these places that I've worked at for my job specifically, and all this design work that I've done. So now I have this huge list of stuff that I've done, but that took so much time and effort. So again, are you willing to put in the time and effort over putting in the education system's route of doing it, which is also putting in time, effort, and money? So that's a big trade-off, is you might not be able to make as much money as someone who gets the diploma, but you could start making money earlier. And that's kind of like the blessing in disguise, is it's a little bit of a jump start. Because if you start earlier, you gain that experience. You're kind of at a level playing field by the time they get out there. The only kind of sucky part that does feel bad, and it's happened to me before, is someone who has around the same level of experience as you gets hired, and because of the piece of paper, they get paid a little bit more. And you kind of just have to accept that. Doesn't mean that you're not worth that. I mean, value is not intrinsically placed on your whatever your education ended at. What value you bring to the company. And I think if you can show that you bring more value to the company than any college educated person, I think you're safe. And this might be a little bit more difficult to say. Trade work is in. Trade work is big. I mean, we need more construction workers more than ever. We need more medical workers more than ever. We need more designers than ever. We just need a lot of different work. And it's like, sometimes it's like, well, I can't find it. That's going to be a whole different discussion. And maybe I do that for a different episode, but I'm trying to figure out the way to word it, because I want it to come off as real as I can. Your value will never be put in the accomplishments you do before you start something. And I know that sounds a little confusing, so I want to kind of break it down into more of a good example. You got person A who went to college, graduated high school, high degrees, went to college, graduated college, got their master's, shows out everything, shows that they are point blank supposed to be the best of the best, cream of the crop. Then you got person B who graduated high school or got their GED. I do always recommend at least that's the minimum. I think trying to find a job without a high school diploma or GED is nearly impossible in nowadays society. It's nothing to do with the fact that they don't believe in you. It's more of a reassurance to the company that at least you got base level education. You get your high school diploma or GED. You started the workforce right away out of high school. You started at a low level part of the internship. You made it all the way to the entry level into now being promoted to whatever position. Companies have to make a decision sometimes. And sometimes that decision is really hard. Do you want to go with the person who has already been in the field since high school, has the experience to show, has a resume that's already built? Or do you want to go with the person who has all the research done, is very much ready to work, and might honestly be the perfect solution? But there's a little bit of intangibles because you don't know what the work experience has been like. At least with the guy who started out in the trade, got the trade done, went entry level, pushed up the ranks, is now at the same level as what the person who eventually got their degree is going for. You at least have a baseline of what he's like. That's where I feel what I made my decision to go to trade school was the right decision. Now, I'm not going to say I was perfect and I made the greatest decision of all time. You might be so good with college education, you don't even know it yet. If you're pushing yourself and you're already saying, I dread school, I hate this, I hate that, you're so young, you might change your mind. You might end up going back to school. And that's a fair option as well. So don't limit yourself to only a couple ideas. Don't limit yourself to only, I can only do this. I can only limit myself. I can only limit myself. I can only limit myself. Like, you are eventually going to hit a limit, and then you're going to find a way to get past that limit. You know, you always do. We're as humans, we're meant to persevere. We're meant to go above and beyond and do our best at everything. And if you don't, that's also fine, because we are meant to fail. That's the beauty of it. Because if we were perfect people and we did nothing wrong and we never had a failure, I mean, full transparency, I've been let go from jobs in the field that I've been studying for almost, oh my God, we're going on almost 7 to 8 years now. I've been in this field. I got let go of jobs. I got let go during Christmas. So from someone who has firsthand experience of feeling the imposter syndrome, feeling like, oh my God, I'm around a bunch of people who have their college education, are fully graduated, and I only went to community college for 2 semesters. That is a part of building yourself as a person. Because as soon as you start to give yourself the reassurance that, hey, I am supposed to be here because I worked my butt off to be here, you could do anything you ever want to do and more. So take it with a grain of salt. Someone that's not college educated has just given you advice about what it's like to be not college educated. So again, I might have to have someone come on here who is going to be college educated to kind of maybe talk me off this ledge of saying that I think in some instances, if you are truly passionate about your career choice and your career path, and you find something that you love deeply, I don't think you need a piece of paper telling people that you love it deeply. I think if you're just really good at the crafting, really good at the trade, your talent will shine. With that being said, I know I said I was going to keep it a shorter episode. I'm looking at that timeline. I'm going to have to edit this shit down. So, please forgive me if this is a really long episode again, and there's already 2 topics, and I promise there wasn't 2 topics, but at least this episode I drank some milk, okay? I hope you guys really do enjoy this. And maybe I change things up once in a while, but this is something that I truly feel that I love doing. And maybe it's not going to always come off the right way. And I want to just at least express to you guys my gratitude that you guys have been so supportive so far. Because there's a lot of topics to cover. And I don't know if I'll be able to cover all of them. I don't even think I'll be able to cover a majority of them. But I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting my dream become true. Thank you for supporting my dream. And hopefully in the next few episodes, I learn how to do an outro. I hope you guys all enjoyed. Peace out.